I was 3 months into my career, working at a level 4 children's hospital, doing the thing, and my charge nurse comes up to me and she goes, "I'm so sorry." And when the charge nurse says that to you, it's not a good thing. It's not a good when you're starting off your shift that's saying that, right? And she said, "I know you're early in your career, but I think you can handle this. We have a baby tonight who's potentially gonna be an elective withdrawal." And which at that point, this particular baby had been through a series of issues, had congenital anomalies that at this point, they were maxed out on what the options were. And so I was the nurse that and ended up helping the family with the transferring of their baby to the other side, if you will. And I remember being, I'm 3 months into my career. This is my first time ever handling something like that. I thank the Lord for the attending I had on that night. He was so supportive and so helpful. And it was a very formative moment for me where I just realized, one, this is where I'm meant to be. And things just really came naturally where, it's very stressful because a lot of things at that time of life are actually very timed, right? So we have to know exact time of when the baby passed. You have to know all these things. You have to document. There's a lot of systems. And for some reason, it just really came naturally. And I just remember at the end, the grandma took my hand and wanted to do a prayer. And she was not forceful on it. It was not something that was put on me. It was more of, would you like to join us? And we said a prayer together, and it was just like a really, really powerful moment. And at the end of it, the parents, went on their way, and the grandma just took me aside and just really embraced me, and just emotional moment.
Yeah, those moments, just thinking about
Yeah.
what you went through that first night where you
Wild.
had to
Yeah.
go take a baby from this stage of life to the next.
Totally.
Like that baby's born, and then,
Yeah.
that is,
It's not normal what we're not meant to be there. Like, NICU is not a unit that is supposed to be there, right? Like, you have a baby, you take it home. That's the plan. That's what's supposed to happen. And so something that I recently just kind of, after becoming a parent and learning, have coined is like, my normal day as a NICU nurse is someone else's most traumatic experience.
yes.
Right? So for me, really taking a moment to understand that, embrace it. And I think in the medical world specifically, we get jaded, right? We get tired. We're burnt out. We're exhausted. And I think having a child actually was ironically the thing I think that like kind of reset me and just said, okay, I have a lot more humility. I'm coming a lot more humble, a lot more understanding, sort of putting myself in the shoes of that parent. So yeah, I would say very early on experiences like that, and then becoming a parent actually was very formative for me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's one of those things, right? It's one of those events.
totally.
It's really interesting when I think about the NICU in general, it, being in the ICU, and if somebody's not doing well, I'm always asking the RT. I'm like,
Yep.
"Hey, listen, where were you?" He's like, "I was in the NICU," right? And it's because the RTs are the ones that kind of are the bridge between,
Yeah.
ICU care everywhere, whether they're in the neonatal intensive care unit or the pediatric intensive care unit
Hmm.
or the, intensive care unit in general.
Right.
So I've always found that fascinating. And the other thing that's really, really interesting that I think the public doesn't quite grasp, and I'm not saying that they need to, but I want you guys to think about how amazing the human body is, because once a female, a biologically developed female, becomes pregnant, right? Once that sperm meets that ova and you have that cell, these cells are going to divide. So one cell becomes two, two becomes four. So as these cells are dividing, there's also molecules that get secreted within this newly formed being, these newly formed group of cells that are going to tell cells to become certain things. Hey, you're going to go be the heart. Hey, you're going to go be the lung. Hey, you're going to go be the skin, right? And this constant communication takes place. We call this embryology. And these organs develop over the course of obviously 36 to 40 weeks, right?
Mhm.
and they develop at different time periods. And so we know now when organs are developing. And one of the organs that develops last, and this is where, someone like me knows about this, is the lung, right? The lung is one of the organs that develops last. It's like weeks 28 through
Mhm.
40, right? The lung is it's a bunch of balloons stacked on top of one another. I've told you guys this many times, but they don't start out that way. And so understanding how much of a miracle this process is from your end,
Mhm.
and then going through it and growing that human being in your body and
Yeah,
going through that
it's
experience,
wild.
and then thinking about
Yeah,
when you transitioned a child from this stage of life to the next.
yeah.
That's a heavy lift.
It's very powerful.